Welcome back, squad. I'm a little sick, but we're still rolling, talking about the pros and cons of stacking. Let's go. Welcome back, squad. Like I said, the pros and cons of stacking. Let's jump right in. So the first pro in my mind is that it's fun. I have a lot of friends who are Chiefs fans, which is a bummer, but they love to stack Mahomes and Kelsey. And when they have really good weeks, it's super fun to watch. So I'd say if you're a fan of the team, it's just a fun thing to do. And I'm never going to fault you having fun in fantasy. That's like the main point of fantasy. So, number two, higher ceiling. We really saw this year with Ja'Marr Chase and Joe Burrow. When Burrow has a good game, it's very likely Chase has a good game, right? That's just kind of bound to happen. When it's good, it's really good, right? So Ja'Marr Chase, Joe Burrow, right? Nico Collins, CJ Stroud. Don't draft CJ Stroud. AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, maybe, for example, right? These guys where if they have a good game, it usually is because of the quarterback, and then the quarterback can propel that number one wide receiver, right? You don't want to stack like a Joe Burrow with like their fourth string wide receiver, Jermaine Burton, right? He's just not very good. So if you stack good with good, usually the results can be good. Some of the downsides: injuries. So if you had Rodgers, Wilson was affected by Rodgers' injury, although he wasn't better this year because they got Devontae for no reason other than they want to be buddy with each other. It's fine. Injuries are dangerous to stacking. If you have a quarterback who gets injured, it's going to affect your wide receiver. Now, you might say, well, he was going to get injured anyway. And that's true. We can't predict injury. But if I take, let's say, a Josh Allen and then a CeeDee Lamb, for example, and Josh Allen dies. He dies on the field. He's dead. Something horrible. Let's just say he gets hurt. CeeDee Lamb is fine. He still has Dak. LOL, not this season, but he still is good. He still can do his thing. Now, if I take Dak and CeeDee Lamb and CeeDee Lamb gets hurt, if you do stack a QB and a wide receiver, you really need to make sure that they can still function without that QB, right? Mahomes going out is going to kill the wide receivers in Kansas City, make their value obsolete. So I would not stack a Chief, for example. Believe it or not, I don't trust Carson Wentz. But if you have a solid backup who you can trust, then it becomes a little less dangerous in my mind. So again, hard to predict, but is what it is. Injuries. Another con, while they have a higher ceiling, you tend to have a lower floor with these guys. Unless you get like the elite Ja'Marr Chase kind of stack. A lot of these guys, they have really good weeks and really bad weeks, if you know what I mean. Let's look at a Zay Flowers, Lamar Jackson stack, for example. Lamar is great. We all love him. Fantastic QB. No problems there. Zay had an interesting year. Zay had 11 games below 12 points. And that's not a hit on Lamar, it's a hit on Zay, right? But especially with like these running quarterbacks or these game script situations, Lamar's going to run the ball, Henry's going to run the ball. The offense isn't always going to be a throw first offense. Like Detroit is a good example of this. They run the ball like crazy. That's their thing. That's what they're good at. They will throw the ball when they're losing, but A, how often are they losing? And B, is this even, if they are throwing, is this even a situation where they're going to throw to the guy that you need them to throw to? You're asking for a very specific situation to happen when you do a stack. And sometimes it's easier for that situation to happen, right? With the Bengals, because their defense was hot garbage this year. But if you took some of these stacks in more precarious situations, you often got a good quarterback or a decent quarterback and kind of an up and down wide receiver. So I'm not saying don't stack, not saying do stack, but if you do stack, I would say either A, do a tight end with the stack, not on the Chiefs, or if you do a stack, I would do one of three things. One, make sure they have a solid backup quarterback just in case. Two, I would prefer a tight end over a wide receiver. That's just me. And three, you have to get the main dude. If you're going to stack, you need to do it with the wide receiver one. That's just my opinion. Maybe you disagree. Let me know what you think. That's my thoughts on stacking. Busy offseason coming up. We got a lot of videos to crank out. We'll get rolling here soon. Peace out, Girl Scouts.